1700 with local credit expert Derek Evans. Now, live in studio, Mr. Credit.
Welcome to Mr. Credit. We are live and local here in San Diego, bringing you the most important hour in radio. We're telling you everything, folks. We're telling you everything that they don't want you to know. When we say they, we're talking about the government, the banks, the credit bureaus, the media, the Wall Street gangsters, the politician, gosh, dog it, anybody who's trying to lie to you in order to get the money out of your wallet. That's your hard-earned cash. Visit MrCreditRadio.com. If you want to send me an email, do a Facebook search for Mr. Credit, and you will find me there. Hey, how about them Padres, guys? How about them Padres? Won 3 in a row, have a 3.5 game lead over. It's not even the Dodgers anymore. The Dodgers stink so bad. It's the Giants. 3.5 game lead over the Giants. We do play Los Angeles tonight, downtown, 7 o'clock at Petco. Okay, 3-game set. I'm saying it right now. Padres sweep it. Padres sweep it. All 3 games. Go down, check out any one of them. Downtown. Tonight at 7. Remember, you can catch all the Padres games right here on San Diego 1700, so save this station in your dial. Hey, how about this? The BP exec got fired / replaced today. Huh. How long did that take? Duh. I mean, that's the whole point of a CEO, in case you didn't know. When something goes bad, they just fire him. That's the whole problem with it. The CEO isn't actually the leader of the company. They're not the face of the company. They're the fall man. They get paid a whole bunch of money. See, the way these big companies work, and you know I hate it. It makes me sick. But this is how it works. You have a board of directors. Let's say it's like 10, 12 people who play golf all day and fly around private jets to various places. Those people have meetings with the CEO occasionally to talk about what they're going to do with the company. They have these meetings maybe once a week. Now, the CEO is the one guy who gets paid the most. All those other people on the board, though, they get paid just a little bit less than he does. Just a little bit less. And the CEO has a chance to get bigger bonuses than they do. But all those jobs are safe. If something goes bad, only one person gets their head blown off, and it's the CEO. My question on this one is, what the hell took so long? Seriously? I mean, come on. As soon as there's an issue, that's when they should go. Was this guy really fighting to stick around? I mean, the whole idea, I'm sure he's going to get a huge severance. I can't wait to tell you how much money they're going to actually give him to leave. I can't wait to find out. So ridiculous. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of review today because it's my responsibility to make sure you're not making mistakes out there with regard to your finances and your credit. And we've got to go through some of these basic things occasionally to make sure that you're not missing out. Remember, the system is not simple when it comes to credit scoring. It's complicated on purpose. They make it complex for a reason. They're trying to trick you, get you to make a mistake. No! A lot of people think, well, if I just make all my payments on time, I'll have a perfect credit score. That's not true. Couldn't be further from the truth. Remember, the payment history only makes up 35% of the credit score. 35% was an F the last time I checked. I don't care what grading scale or curve you're looking at. 35% is not going to get you very far. So you got to know what the other 65% is, how it works, what are the tricks, and I will share those with you today. Right now, there's a scam going on. Now, I always like to make all of the Mr. Credit Radio listeners aware of any of these scams that are going on so you know exactly what to do if it happens to you, or if someone you know tells you about something like this, you know what's going on. This one is happening right now in Nevada. A lot of times these things will happen in Nevada or a kind of an obscure place where a lot of crazy stuff goes down, or in a very small place. They do that on purpose to test the waters before they go national with these scams. These are almost all overseas, by the way. So here's the story. It's a payday loan collection scam. So 2 things we hate. Payday loans we hate, and collection scams we hate. So Nevada citizens are receiving telephone calls from persons claiming to be from the, listen to this, Federal Government of Crime and Prevention. The Federal Government of Crime and Prevention. If anyone ever calls you from a name that's that silly, you should have red flags going off like crazy. They're also using names like Affidavit Consolidation Services, Criminal Bureau of Identity, U.S. Justice Department / Payday Loan Division, and the Federal Investigation Bureau, and some other fake government names. Very easy thing to do when someone calls you from a certain company is just to ask for the website, Google it, whatever, real quick. I mean, you can tell right away if these things are a scam. The caller claims that a debt is owed, okay, on a payday loan, such as an Advance Cash USA and other fake companies. The caller poses lawyers, law enforcement officers, okay, investigators, and even federal agents. They refuse to disclose their real names and addresses, claiming that sensitive information is confidential. Okay, there's another red flag. Anytime someone is contacting you to collect a debt, they have to disclose who they are, where they're calling from, the name of the company, what the debt is. They have to if you ask. They have to. If anybody gives you one of these...
Look, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. Trust me.
Can't do it. Sorry. And so, you know, it sounds... This is a difficult thing because from the outside, everyone thinks, well, that's obvious. I would know that. But when someone actually calls your work line, starts telling you these crazy things. I mean, the operation is a scam. They use scare tactics. They claim that they're going to file a lawsuit, that they're going to garnish your wages, that they'll put you in jail, that they will, I mean, they say all kinds of crazy stuff. They're going to hurt your credit. The operation is a scam, and it is probably operating outside the United States. One consistent pattern the perpetrators follow is frequently changing telephone numbers and using various area codes. Okay, which is indicative of internet telephone number usage from outside the country. So if you receive such a call, simply hang up. If they call again, hang up again. Regardless of what information they may give you over the telephone, this is a scam. And the caller is just trying to scare you into wiring money to them, which you do not owe. All right. This article was pretty good for a couple other things, but they talked about putting a freeze on your credit. That's not something you want to do. I mean, that's not something you really ever want to do. Unless you notice that there is something that has happened. You really don't do that in a proactive sense because it does hurt you. And they do go on to say that you may wish to file a complaint about the telephone calls of the Federal Trade Commission. Ha! The agency which enforces the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. The problem is, if you do that, you just will simply be wasting your time. The FTC is so bogged down, is so inefficient with time, is just I don't want to say horrible, but they just don't do what they're supposed to do. I mean, they just don't do what they're supposed to do. It's like having a telephone that you can't make calls with. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. It's not like there's nothing there, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do. This is the reason the credit bureaus are getting away with all the stuff they're getting away with. Okay, this is the reason why you've got people in the White House, people in the government that are involved with the credit bureaus, that are involved with the bank on a regular basis. They all know what's going on. They all know that there's absolutely no way that the government can follow through with its promises right now. There is absolutely no way to enforce all this stuff, to create all of this legislation, to create all this oversight. There is just absolutely no way that they're going to be able to do it. They are on a high right now, walking around,
I'm Rick James,
thinking that they're invincible, and that if they just write it on paper that everyone will abide. But the people who are close to them know that this isn't true. And this is why you see guys like Vikram Pandit say things like, oh, I'm not concerned about the financial overhaul. Huh? Wasn't the big headline that, the banks were going to get crushed by that? So why would you not be scared at all by that? Isn't that your job? You're the CEO. You're the fall guy. Things go bad, you go away. Maybe it's just because he's got a couple $100 million in the bank and just doesn't care anymore about anything. Who knows? I can't possibly imagine what that feels like. But I imagine that, I've become a little bit less concerned about what people think. At the same time, when it boils down to it, the people who are there to protect us aren't necessarily doing it. And that's the reason why I bring you this information on a daily basis, because if they're not going to do it, then that means that we have to do it ourselves. We have to know what's going on, and we have to be able to protect ourselves from these things. Because I'm telling you, one collection, I looked at a credit report this morning. A fellow's trying to get a $1.4 million loan. Okay? Very difficult these days. Has a great job, so does the wife. Trying to get a huge loan, and the credit score is 712. Now, we know that Mr. Credit listeners know that the average score in the country is 692. The median score is 720.